WWE is going to India, and the fans there are all psyched to see Seth Rollins as the world champion. I don't think before a tour of India that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to Nakamura the title off of Seth Rollins.
Guys, we have a big premium live event coming up, which is Payback from WWE.
Hold on a minute. Mac, is the payback that I owe you?
So that's not even near as much as it's supposed to be.
You spent $5.
Is that some of that money you got while you were on vacation in Magic City? Is that how you got those dollars?
I'm sorry, I lost my audio piece.
That dollar made him holla, holla.
Oh, no, the girl made him holla, holla.
All right, let's talk about these matches for Payback. And we're going to look at each one of these and kind of get your opinions and what you think might happen and who might walk away the winner in each of these matches. So far, we only have a handful of matches announced, but we do have the rumored matches as well, so we're going to do both. First of all, the guaranteed matches. The World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins, the champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Bill, your thoughts?
Well, Nakamura's interview recently was very compelling about this injury that Seth frickin' Rollins has on his back. I do not see Nakamura winning this match, but you have two guys here that are so learned in wrestling that I think it's not going to just be a brawl, but I think it's going to be a good technical match as well. I pick Seth Rollins to retain the World Championship.
Teddy, what about you?
Seth Rollins.
Now, you know, and it's funny, you both say Seth Rollins. I see there might be a Shinsuke win here. Maybe it's time for Rollins to he's got to get something underneath him, and maybe losing that belt will be what he needs. Seth doesn't really need the belt, let's be honest. He's one of those guys in wrestling that doesn't require a belt. So he could pass that belt to somebody else who could use it to build their career, and he could go on to something else.
You don't build careers with the world title. It don't work that way. Shinsuke Nakamura, great athlete, great wrestler. The only way I see him getting a win is there is a tour coming up in Japan. Okay, that's the only way I see that if our guys are getting ready to go to Japan. So it don't work like that, Mac. You can't put the world title on somebody and build their career. That career has to already be built once you put that belt on, because you are now the guy that has to sell tickets. So I look at it that way.
Well, Bill, let me ask you, Shinsuke, what happened? Hey, he came over to WWE, and I mean, this guy came over with a lot of creed, but he just never seemed to really hit it with the American fans. Why?
Oh, I don't agree with that. I think he did, but I just don't think that they needed to put a belt on him.
Yeah, me too, Bill. I agree with you, Mac. What TV you been watching? You don't see the response that Nakamura gets? The people are singing with him when he comes out?
Well, I see that, but I mean, those are easy votes for fans. But
let's make sense of this, where in somewhere in the next few weeks, depending upon when you're watching this, WWE is going to India, and the fans there are all psyched to see Seth Rollins as the world champion. I don't think before a tour of India that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to Nakamura the title off of Seth Rollins.
Well, you got to understand this now. You know, India is some few weeks and months behind. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't even get this right away. So
it's a live show.
Okay. Well, if it's a live show, then you could. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. All right, let's see. The next match on the card is the WWE Women's World Championship. That's Rhea Ripley, your champion, versus Raquel Rodriguez. I don't see Rhea Ripley losing this match. Bill?
I don't either, but the ferocity that Rodriguez has been showing is going to make this a brawl. It's going to be one of those Pier 6 brawls that we used to talk about all the time. I think it's going to be very tough, and it's going to be one of Ripley's Ripley's most toughest match. I really do. Yeah.
Rhea Ripley,
yeah, man. I don't see any other thing really, not at this point right now. Now, there are some rumored matches. Well, I got one more. There is one more match that is guaranteed right now. That's a cage match.
Oh.
And this one's got me interested. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. First time for Trish Stratus in the cage. So I'm curious to see how this one goes. What do you think, Teddy?
Becky Lynch.
Becky. Yeah. Bill, what about you?
I also think Becky Lynch is going to win this because she's tougher than Trish. Trish might have all the experience in the world, mate, but she doesn't have what Becky Lynch has got. Yeah, Becky's a fighter. Trish is a fighter and all that, but I think, especially in a cage match, I think Becky Lynch is just going to, it'll be competitive, but Becky Lynch is going to win that match. It's going to be interesting to see these two women athletes in a cage, and especially Trish, and all the years that she's been wrestling, to see her in a cage match. I don't know why she's doing it, but
here's something I'm wondering.
Once again, Bill, everybody has a price.
I'm wondering, it's a cage match. You know, in the old days when you saw a cage match, you knew you'd see blood. Nowadays, you don't really see the blood that much, but this is one of those feuds that was building and it's being blown off inside a cage. And normally blood is involved. Should there be blood in this cage match, or should it be just another PG moment?
What do you think?
I don't know. Right now, I mean, in this day and era, you got to be careful, with the blood and stuff, because of the COVID and hepatitis and all this stuff that you can catch, in the ring and stuff. So you got to really be careful now. So I think Baltimore is one of the places the last time I was there, and this has been years ago, the commissioners and the people wouldn't allow the blood there. Because I remember one night we was there and Vince got into it with them about the blood. They didn't want it, but him, he didn't give a shit. So I'm just saying, I don't know whether they need blood or not. They're women, but I mean, to make this thing really real, if they did get a little bit, would be good. But we'll just have to see if the doctors and the people that get a license out, these commissions or whatever they are, if they agree with it.
Yeah, it drives me crazy because some of the matches occasionally, when you say like a dog collar match or a cage match or a barbed wire match, if there's not blood, why are you having those matches in the first place? Have a different match, because otherwise people are going to expect a certain amount of violence in that match.
Well, it's interference. It's to keep Zoe Stark out of there.
And the thing too is the one reason why you're having it is because this is something that you don't see every pay-per-view or every day on TV. There's two women in a cage, so I mean, if I'd never watched wrestling at all, I'd want to see this. Some people it'll be a first time ever, and to have two competitors and then like Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch, two girls that really will tear the house down, then that makes it even better to watch them and to watch these women grapple and battle in the cage like the guys did back in the day. I think it's going to be outstanding.
I always like a match with blood. No, but can you imagine this? If you go back and talk about like the Dusty days, here's Trish Stratus, magnificent, gorgeous, with that flowing blonde hair.
With the crimson mask.
The crimson mask. Yeah, can you imagine that? I mean, again, that harks back to the magazine days.
And this will be the only opportunity that Trish will have in her career at this point now to have that moment, because I don't see her in another cage match anytime soon. This will probably be the last one she'll ever do.
Well, why would she do another one? It don't mean nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Well, unless somebody gives her the right price.
Oh, that's true too now. Hey, money talks.
I predict there will be somehow Zoe Stark is going to get into that cage. I don't know how, but she's going to do it.
They always find a way.
All
right. Rumored matches for Payback for right now. The Miz versus LA Knight. Yeah. That's going to be a great match, I think, because the Miz, look, anybody the Miz gets in the ring with and he works with, he does a great job. Miz is one of those guys that can work with anybody and make the match look good. Miz, over all the years, as much crap as he has taken about his background, how he got into wrestling, he has proved everybody wrong on every single level, because he has outshined most of those guys who gave him.
That's how you do that, and that's what I just said. You don't run, you don't quit, you keep right on going, and you prove all of them wrong.
I got him down as losing to Tozawa. I'm sorry.
Now, I do see LA Knight winning this match, because I'm sure that's the whole reason we got the Miz there, unless they're going into a longer program than we may know of. But I think that'd be a great match on the card. I do think LA Knight is so hot right now that everybody just wants to see him show up. I mean, he's just one of those guys now. If he just goes out into the ring and says hello, the fans are happy.
They go crazy,
Yeah. All right, the other match that's being rumored, of course, is brother versus brother, Jay versus Jimmy.
Yeah, well, I think somehow it could end in a double DQ with Solo interfering, maybe wrong. I don't know. I just either that or they're going to make up and attack Solo, and it's going to lead us to a tag team match eventually with Solo and Roman against the Usos. But then again, remember Jay said he's quit WWE.
Yep.
So
I have to wait and see. Teddy, what do you think?
Well, I don't know, man. That'll be one there. That's another one that I think that at the end there, if it was me, somewhere during the end right there where they just have an all-out brawl, bells ringing, ding, ding. They don't give a shit. They're just beating the hell out of each other. And then maybe Rikishi comes.
Yeah, we're waiting on you, Rikishi.
Now, I'm glad you said Rikishi because in the last couple of days, I'm guessing you two may have seen this already. There was a photo going around showing Rikishi bald-headed, completely shaved. He was with a couple other members of the family, and everybody bought into it. But it ends up there was actually somebody else in the family that looks like Rikishi. Mm-hmm. But everybody that saw that picture, that was not Rikishi that's bald. Right. If you see it on social media, that is not Rikishi. Because when I first saw it, I was like, I can't imagine he would have shaved his head. There's just no way that Rikishi would have shaved his head.
And it's not you, and it's not Teddy, and it's not
and it's not your come over either. No. All right, another one of the matches on Payback, and we're about to get out of time here, so let me keep going. Gunther, the champion, versus Chad Gable. Now, the match from Monday Night Raw, this is on 8/22 that we're recording. So on Monday, the 21st of August, Gunther and Chad Gable had a match that was just incredible. The way that they told the story, even the positioning of Gunther's body when Chad Gable's picking him up, you can tell they had this worked out in their minds in the back, and they made it look like a legit match.
One of the best spots I have ever seen in pro wrestling was when Chad Gable took Gunther outside the ring and suplexed him over the barrier. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, well, I agree with Matt there. I'm sure early in the day that they went to rehearsal, and with a match like they had, it was just outstanding. I would think they would have probably put the blinds up, so people couldn't see it for people walking around in the arena. I don't know but I know that they did do that one time when they had Big Show going against Floyd Mayweather, and they did a rehearsal in Vegas, but they put the blinders up around the cage so you couldn't see what was going on. So either these guys just sit down, they talked about it, worked it out, but whatever they done a hell of a job, and they both were on the same page. Timing was perfect. There was no dead time there. Fans were, they were right on top of everything. And they also, whatever they did, they gave it time to absorb, let the people let it, sink in. Then they started something else right there. So those two guys worked their butts off, man.
So now you got them going to Payback, and if they're going to Payback, I'm looking forward to that match. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the Monday Night Raw match they had sold me for Payback for that match alone because I was so impressed with how they told that story.
I got Gunther, though, for the main event. I think Chad Gable is going to put in a fabulous showing, but something's going to change at the very end of that. It's going to cost him the victory, but it's going to still put him over as a major star.
Right. See, that's why I tell people all the time, man, just because you lose a match, that doesn't kill your career.
That's
okay.
Right.
Sometimes when you lose it might help you a little bit. You know what I mean? It makes your story mean more. It makes somebody want to see you the next time, when you go back for your rematch, well, let's see what's going to happen here. So being beat doesn't, a lot of guys, they look at that like, oh, they'll kill my career. It ain't kill your career, man. If you're going to win them all, then how you going to make it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, the thinking of some of these guys.
Yeah, when I was in the independents, I was I was a face. So, of course, I lost a lot, but that was my job because I was always chasing somebody. I was always chasing the championship, or I was chasing after somebody for doing me wrong, which is where a lot of, so anybody that says, oh, I can't lose, you don't understand wrestling if you can't lose. That's just how it is.
But keep in mind now, on the other end of this thing, there could be something where Gunther does lose and he blames his two guys, Ludwig and what's his name?
I couldn't tell you off the top of the head. Yeah.
Vinci, and he blames the two of them, and they start a feud with Gunther. I mean, that's a possibility too.
Well, we always got to remember Gunther's got his henchmen, and that's what they're there for. So like you said, I believe that when it's right at the end, it's time to go there. I think those guys will come down and maybe cause something to happen there.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised Chad Gable's chest didn't cave in on a couple of those chops from that match on Monday Night Raw. I mean, oh my God! I mean, it sounded like a gunshot off his. Boom! All right, look, we got just
real.